All right, friends. Hi, Doc South here. Another blurb. This one, whereas most of my blurbs, I try to do them to entertain. This one, I don't know just how entertaining it will be. I'll do my best. But it's basically, I just wanted to thank some folks that have been helping me out. The I won't use last names, and I may not even use names in some cases. But for instance, the other day I get an email. I can mention this listener Steve. Steve all of a sudden emailed me and said, "You got a package coming. Keep an eye open." Steve's kind of blunt sometimes. I said, "Okay." He says, "You're going to need this." I said, "All right." And so anyway, a package comes, and what is it? After I open it all up, well, actually, one thing. The first thing he sent was just a little box of microphone adapters. You set them on different poles, different ways to hold a microphone. And I said, "Well, thanks, Steve. I can always use these adapters. In fact, at the Chatterbox, I need one especially, just like this. So thank you." He says, "Wait a minute, you didn't get the whole package." He said there should have been two packages. I emailed back, "I got one." He said, "Oh, I got yeah." Well, you can imagine if you know Steve. And he said, "You got another package coming too. Keep an eye open for it." I said, "Okay." And that was this. It's I haven't put it together yet, but it's a microphone stand. Yeah, it sits on the ground. Yeah, like I'm a singer or something. Well, you don't want to hear that. But I'm going to use this outdoors at the Chatterbox because I can set it near my table. Yeah, and it'll hold my microphone so I can, I got my hands free to do other stuff like eat hamburgers at the Chatterbox, right? I'm just saying. So that's cool. That's cool. So thank you, Steve. Now, the other day, about a week and a half ago, I'm at the Chatterbox, not this recent Saturday, but last Saturday, and Don Hall's looking over the equipment I got, and he says, "Hey, you don't have a CD player. You usually have two." I said, "Oh, the other one, Don, I can't. That's that one that always creates that hum in the sound system, and it's doing it in all the other stuff I got. I'm afraid to use it. People get this ear-splitting whine out of it, and I have no idea why. We've tried everything, He says, yeah. He says, "You like that one you got?" I said, "Yeah, this Newmark 500, I sure do." He said, "Yeah, well, that's a good one. I guess you just got to keep an eye peeled for one, huh?" I said, yeah. And, well, anyway, long story short, yesterday I go to the Chatterbox, and what's sitting on my table, my little booth area, is a box. And yep, and guess what's in the box? This. Look. A Newmark. A brand new one. Yeah. And it's a big note from Don. "Put this together, use it." Okay, I said, "Sure." So now I got two. And they're both state-of-the-art, great units. And I would imagine, well, a typical CD player in service to me usually can last about a year and a half if it's a good one. 2 years maybe. So Don, thank you. I know that wasn't cheap, and I certainly appreciate it. You get the idea. There's been numerous of you, again too numerous to mention, who have sent money by way of my GoFundMe account. I appreciate that so much. That really helps. We'll go over that in a minute, but a big help. Also, there's people that send me information. For a long time, Scotty in China used to say, I'd play an Ella Fitzgerald record. Next thing you know, I'd have a little story about Ella, from Scotty. We often, I'm trying to think of who else there. Bob, listener Bob out in Martins Creek. All the time, if you go to my Facebook page, there's all these music videos. In fact, there's one he just added recently. He's got Duke Ellington and his band in the 30s playing a song, and then they go on to show in the video how you take that song and turn it into a 78 RPM record. Fascinating little bit of information. Bob's always sticking these things on my site. And no, it's not a monetary thing, but it makes my Facebook page much more interesting. And it helps. It really helps. I don't have time to search that stuff. Bob evidently finds these things, and out they go into my site. I so appreciate that. The thing is, if you add it up, I well, my station is such. Older music is kind of, I guess, going the way of button hooks. Not everybody likes it anymore. Used to be, you do an old rock and roll show, and God, you could count on, all sorts of people just digging the scene. Now, no, there's usually oldies now are from the '90s for a lot of people, and or even the early 2000s. You hear people like on TV say, "Wow, what a great old song! Listen to that," and it's J Lo. I don't know. If you play Buddy Holly, I think there's people. If you stop the average person, hey, who's Buddy Holly? They might not know nowadays. If you went blindfolded, sure. If you find someone my age, yeah, I know who Buddy Holly is, of course. But a lot of people don't. And what I'm trying to do is, I feel that music, and maybe you agree with me. I feel that music has value. It's wonderful music, and those people were excruciatingly talented. Not that the people nowadays aren't, but it's a different style, a different time, different way of presenting the music. But those people back in the old days paid their dues, and they were no different than you or me. They were, there was good people, bad people. But they had the talent, and they made those years just that much nicer with their music. And I think their music still has value. Not everyone will agree with me anymore. And so as a result, it's hard to get gigs at the moment. You find there's times where I might get a car show, or someone might ask me to do a car show. Now, you got music from the '90s, right? No. No, I don't. Well, what eras do you cover? Well, '50s and '60s, maybe the '70s. Yeah, I don't know. Next thing you know, I don't get. Yeah, you just don't get the gig, which again is their right. And actually they're probably being smart. A guy playing Earth Angel might just not quite swing it with people who are 30, 40 years old. It's not the same song to them as it would be to someone in their 60s or 70s. And face it, there's less and less of those people out there now. So anyway, of course, as you know, the Chatterbox will be shutting down at the end of the summer. That's a good source of income. I do not blame, I have no ill feelings. The Chatterbox has been very good to me. I'm surprised I stayed there that long. But I'll be there till its last day, of course. It's a great place. But again, what's also happening, I think, with cruise nights is you're getting to the cruise nights that are more like car shows. They're like the Wanderers thing. You have these big shows. What is it? There's a big one in I think at the Walmart in Boonton. You have Cops and Rodders doing these again humongous shows, cruise nights, but they're as big as any car show, and they're good. There's nothing wrong with them. It's a good idea. But the idea of going to someone and like I had a place, a winery out in Warren County wanted me to do a cruise night. We were lucky to get 5 or 6. They wanted oldies. That's what they said they wanted to hear. But again, people, they don't necessarily come out for it. So what I'm doing, if you know of anything that's around, a carnival that might really do well to have older music, antique shows, flea markets, car shows, yes, but I guess the smaller ones, let me know. All you got to do is email or run into me somewhere. DocSouthShow@yahoo.com. Of course, the Wanderers, excruciatingly supportive. They're basically, they say, we want to hear doo-wop and go into the 60s, but get back to that doo-wop, will you? Which is fine. Right up my alley, especially when it's at the Chatterbox. So, they've been very good to me too. Bless their hearts. Wonderful people. So I guess that's what I'm saying is, it's getting to the point where, yes, if you know of anywhere where I could get some DJ work, that would help. I doubt I'll ever be on radio again, though the webcast is probably what I'll wind up doing till they find me with my cold dead fingers wrapped around the microphone. But the radio's got to make a buck, and playing old rock and roll and big band music and stuff out of the 30s, and people like Hank Williams just ain't cutting it with those folks anymore. And again, they got bills to pay too. So any case, I guess that's, my purpose with the station is to try to show the good in life, make you feel good about being on the planet, and I try to do, tell interesting stories in an entertaining way as best I can. And well, if that's suiting you, I just want you to keep in mind it probably takes 30 to 40 hours a week to do between the stories, the YouTube, the videos, doing shows. That's time away from a job. And so I can use donations. Also, the station doesn't run on my good looks. Right. No, it sure don't. None of it. So you've got, if I add it all up, it's about $300 a month. It is about $300 a month to run the station. And you just don't, there's not enough listeners to go out and sell advertising. It just wouldn't be right. I mean, I could go to jail. No, I couldn't. But, I always tell people, hey, look, we don't have a whole lot of listeners. But I'll do my best to talk you up. But it's, and sometimes too, you got listeners, in Australia. You try as they might, much as they might want to, they can't quite make it to the chatterbox for a Saturday night. So anyway, I can use gigs. Anywhere where they think my music would be good, let folks know, spread the word. Anything with an old-fashioned flair, like a flea market, an old-fashioned carnival, fireworks displays. I know the people in Washington, New Jersey use me for their fireworks. And because it is old, more traditional music. Anything to do with senior citizens, senior care centers, senior centers within a community. Perhaps my music would be of interest. And remember, my station. Tell people about it. It's available with an automated playlist, a random playlist 24 hours a day. I do probably 5 to 10 shows a week, live shows. I am on YouTube with all those, I think, wonderful stories. Keep that in mind. And my writing, my books and such. If you can use any of that, maybe I could write something for you. Let me know. I try to write entertaining stories with that'll make you feel better about again being here, being part of existence, any kind of car show or something sure would be a help. Also, I can use donations. If you care to donate, I use the money, to keep the wolf from the door, so to speak. All you got to do is go to the website, by the way, listener Steve put together for me. I could never do it. That's you go to www.docsouthshow.com, docsouthshow.com. You'll see a link to my station. You'll see a link to the YouTube site, I think, and other things there, and especially a GoFundMe site. I can use donations, large ones, small ones. If you even know how I could maybe apply for some kind of grant or something, I'd be interested in hearing about that. Again, I hope to do all this for as long as possible, while I still got a brain in my head and breath in my body. I hope to do this kind of thing, but it is tough, and I may have to make some hard decisions, and I don't particularly want to close all this down. So again, you'll see my GoFundMe site. You can click right into it off of the main website or the web page. DocSouthShow.com. Check it out. And the more listeners, the better. That always helps. If I start getting buckets of listeners and hits on, and also hitting the YouTube thing, eventually some of that could monetize, and that would be good too. Okay, so there you go. I just thought I'd say, if you can help, boy, I sure could use it. I'm out there. Again, it's my absolute passion to point out the good in life. I spend an awful lot of my life living in the negative, and it ain't no way to live. And way too many people are doing that and getting way too self-centered. And that's not good either. When you're self-centered, all you got is you. I don't know, that don't cut it. Okay, so anyway, I thought I'd say. If you can help, I can use it. You know what I do, so I'm more than happy to take whatever help you can give. And I certainly do thank all of you. I know I didn't name everyone who has one way or another helped me. I know Michelle, Steve, of course, Bob, Don at the Chatterbox, the Wanderers. All of you have been very, very good. So anyway, I thought I'd say thank you. God bless. Okay, bye now.